All right. I think we're live. Pretty sure. Let me pop the chat out here. Apologize for being late, as always, but wouldn't be the last live stream of the year if I wasn't late, like I always am. Should be a fun one at Darlington. Going to be a really long race tonight, but I'm looking forward to it. Love Darlington, one of my absolute favorite tracks out there, not because it's super exciting, which it can be, but just love the way this track is. Love the high tire wear. It's a tough one to drive, and this is the driver's track, and I like seeing the driver's skill come through. I mean, they're like this close to the wall. Really impressive to watch. I think it'll be fun. I think roster construction is pretty interesting today as well. Lots of ways you can go. And we'll probably see some cars DNF, so I'm assuming we're going to see some attrition a little bit. It's not going to be like Daytona last week. Please don't stack the back. But yeah, I think this should end up being a good one. Got my loud and clear from Andre. I do appreciate that, sir. What's up, Anthony? All right. Let me pull up the sheet here. And yeah, last live stream of the season. So I do appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Throughout the year, we'll still be doing videos every week, but with NFL, it doesn't really make sense to do a stream when football is on, because I think we're all going to be doing football around this time. All right, let me scroll to the top here. I'll answer any question you guys got. I said most of what I wanted to say on the preview video, but I did build my lineups beforehand, and I would say there's maybe a couple of changes from what I've said. I did mention that I'm probably not going to play that much Blaney, but it turns out he actually ended up projecting well for me. And that's not really because I was factoring in any practice. I didn't completely throw out practice this weekend, but it's not something I'm really weighing on heavily. But Blaney did end up projecting better than I thought he was going to at $800 and 10K on FanDuel. So I do have more Blaney exposure than I anticipated. Optimals were showing around 20-ish% for me. So that's kind of where I landed, just to be transparent. As far as the others are concerned, very heavy on Hamlin, very heavy on Larson and Tyler Reddick. Those are three of my favorite plays in the slate from the upper echelon tier. Didn't get to as much Byron, so I'm roughly around 15-20% on Byron. Didn't get to a lot of Keselowski. I am playing a lot of Truex. Yes, I know he is going to wreck at some point and have an issue like he does every single week and every single year at Darlington, it seems. But I will be playing him once again, starting in fifth. Just too cheap, and he is so good here. Hopefully he can put it together. As far as the rest is concerned, I think I mentioned everything else. I do think Bubba Wallace is going to be a pretty big talking point today. So I'm sure I'll be getting a lot of Bubba Wallace questions. And other than that, nothing else really too crazy. All right, so let me get into the questions here. And appreciate the dono as always. Sid Jenkins says, happy last live of the year. How many DOMs and who? You're going to want at least 2 DOMs today. You can easily push that to 3, especially if you're playing Bubba Wallace because of how cheap he is. So at the very least 2. Main dominators for me, as far as the highest projected chances to dominate. I have it Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Bubba Wallace, and then William Byron in that order. So that would be my top 5. Also think Christopher Bell, Keselowski, Blaney are also other potential dominators today, but definitely in a tier below them. And you appreciate the donos there. What's up, AJ? Says, took the L at Daytona last week. Need to rebound. Hopefully you do. I had a fun Daytona. Hit the had 2 bets. Parker Retzlaff, top 10 at plus 2,000. That was awesome. I'm glad that hit. It's close though. He hit the wall at the end. Got it by like a millisecond, it seemed like. And then I had Cindric to win, which we were in position at the end, but a couple big ones later, and he wasn't in the race. But yeah, Daytona was fun. Hopefully you guys had fun just watching the race. I thought was awesome. Also love the new announcer, Lee Diffie, whatever it is. He's awesome. And I'm glad he's going to be in the booth tonight. But he says, Bubba Wallace, Larson, Keselowski, Bowman, Jones, and Stenhouse. Huge PD upside with the last 3. I think that's a perfectly fine lineup. I think Bubba does have a legit chance to rack up some points today. I have him projected for 36.71. Laps led, a good chunk of fast laps as well. He's got the best pit stall. Is he the most trustworthy driver out there? Not at all. Probably one of the worst. So hard to really trust him on pit road and whatnot, but he does have the first stall, so that's always going to help things out, especially here at Darlington. Then Larson is your second dom. Keselowski is kind of a hybrid, and then I like that filler, so it's a perfectly fine lineup. Dan wants to know the top 5 drivers to win the race for me. Yeah, so my projections for top 5. I have Larson number 1, Reddick at number 2, Hamlin number 3, Byron number 4, And MTJ at number 5. That's my top 5. And I did not make any bets post practice or qualifying. I have outrights on Reddick, Hamlin, Byron, and Ty Gibbs tonight. Now, I wouldn't bet them at their current odds, but just saying that's who I have the outrights on. What's up, Johnny T? It's a good afternoon, Chris. Good afternoon, Johnny. Favorite cash plays to go around over on FanDuel, and if you had to pick one, would you play Stenhouse or Bowman for cash games? Thanks as always. I would play Bowman over Stenhouse in cash games. Obviously on DraftKings, it's pretty easy to play both. On FanDuel, you probably don't have to play both in the majority of your lineups. So if it's cash games, I would play Alex Bowman, and the guys that I would definitely play in cash over on FanDuel. Hamlin number 1, really hard to pick between Larson, Hamlin, and Reddick, but over on FanDuel, the down points don't mean as much, and he starts like 10 spots further back, and the finishing position upside is pretty much identical. So I will play Denny Hamlin. Then also really like Alex Bowman, who you mentioned. I really like Ross Chastain as well. Probably be my starting point for cash over there. And says, who are the core plays for DraftKings and FanDuel single entry? So FanDuel, I probably answered that one. DraftKings can be a little bit different. If I'm playing a single entry, I am more than likely playing 2 of these 3 drivers, Hamlin, Reddick, Larson. I'd want a combination of that. I don't think I would play all 3. I don't really like the builds there. And then Bowman, Stenhouse, really nice lineup fillers. And then you could there's a couple of tournament plays. I do like Martin Truex Jr. If you wanted to swap one of those out, I'm perfectly fine with that. Upside's pretty similar, just been harder to trust this year. Also think Ty Gibbs is a really nice tournament play. Kyle Busch is interesting too. He projected better than I thought he would. What's up, Joe Coldham? Good afternoon, CP. On DraftKings for tournaments, who would be your 2 DOMs to go to and 2 favorite place differential plays? Thanks as always. Yeah, if we're just strictly talking tournaments, so off the chalk plays, I think William Byron and Martin Truex Jr. up top are probably the best pivot options off of the big 3. The big 3 meaning Hamlin, Larson, Reddick. And if we are looking at some PD plays, the popular ones are going to be guys like Alex Bowman, Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, Rookie Stenhouse Jr. If you're trying to get off the chalk there. I know Gregson, Josh Berry, who doesn't offer as much PD upside, but I think he's a fine tournament pivot. Kyle Busch down there. Pretty decent options, I think. It's a fun slate because it's really easy to get different. And I'm pretty spread out in exposure because I do think we're going to have some cars go down. If you guys watch, I know I don't try to make any comparisons to the Xfinity race to Cup, but I mean, the first like 10 laps of the Xfinity race, there's like 10 guys that just ended up dying immediately. I'm not sure that's going to happen in Cup, but I mean, when you're running so close to the wall and tires are wearing off, it's pretty easy to make mistakes after you just keep doing it repetitively. So I'm sure we're going to have some guys scrub the wall, and like sure, Alex Bowman could be running P9 and crushing the slate, but I mean, he could easily scrub the wall in his days than sitting in like 28th all day. So I wouldn't be too heavy really on any driver. Obviously, I'm most comfortable with the big 3, but I'm not like, this is not a slate to where I'm saying let's play like 60% of this guy. Like Optimal showed really not to go above 45% on anyone. So it is pretty spread out overall. Morning, Stan. Who's your favorite? My favorite today, Denny Hamlin. I'm going to have a lot of him today. What's up, Nathan? Who's that one driver everyone is overlooking ownership-wise? Also, what's up, Chris? What's up, Nathan? The one driver I think everyone's probably overlooking, I'm not sure Ty Gibbs is getting a ton of buzz. I do like being overweight on Ty Gibbs today. I just feel like with where he is priced, not a lot of people are going to go there. Because if we're getting like 3 drivers above 9K, which I think a lot of people will do, and you also have Logano starting in 23rd. Then you also have Ross Chastain, who's going to be popular right below him. I think Ty Gibbs probably gets overlooked today. He did finish 2nd here early in the season, I believe with the 3rd best average running position. Now we have to keep in mind that Buescher and Reddick kind of nuked their races. No, it was more so Reddick nuking both of their races. But either way, he was still running extremely well. So I think Ty Gibbs makes some sense. I mean, you're getting a really cheap JGR driver at $8,300, especially when he ran well here earlier in the season. And also Josh Berry, I think, is a pretty good tournament play too. He started in 33rd in the spring, ended up finishing 3rd, and I mean, he just had a really good run, and I think some of these Stewart Haas cars could be pretty solid. What's up, Jill? Says, hi, Chris. Optimal FanDuel lineup. I'm not going to get out the optimal, but it does include Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin, and Ross Chastain as a spoiler. What's up, Clint? Happy race day to you as well. The like button on the way in. I agree. The like button goes a long way, and I do appreciate it, and it's free to do. Very easy. Chat says, how much Bubba is too much Bubba? Yeah, first Bubba question. So I know a lot of you are probably thinking, what the heck are we going to do with Bubba? Starting on the poll. Personally, for me, I like him. He does come with risk, but he should be fast. Obviously, his teammates been extremely fast this year. Wallace is not nearly as good as Tyler Reddick, definitely a different talent level, but he should be in a fast car, and I think Bubba should be able to lead a good chunk of stage one. He has the best pit stall. If he can hold track position, I believe he has like 4 straight top 10s here at Darlington. So even if he doesn't like lead 100 laps today, which I'm not even projecting that, if he just fades back to like 8th to 10th and he can still lead like 40, 50 laps, that's still a pretty good day at his price point. Obviously, if he does not lead those laps early on and he fades back to 10th, looking at the heat map here, if Bubba finishes 10th with no downer points today, which I think is unlikely to get 0, that's 25 points. Someone else in this price range, like Alex Bowman, if he finished, for him to get 25 points, he would have to finish 22nd, which I think we all think Bowman will probably finish better than 22nd. So definitely some downside with Bubba Wallace, but he does have Carson Hocevar beside him, which we would assume he can beat Hocevar out. You also have Chase Briscoe behind him. The main issue is Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick. Obviously, those guys could jump out to an early lead past Bubba Wallace. I wouldn't be overly surprised about that. But I do think Bubba's in a good spot. Need a good chunk of stage one. Just hang around all day, which he has shown he can do at Darlington in $7,700. That's a pretty good play, I think. So to answer your question, how much is too much? I believe Optimal had him around, I have him pretty high. I have him close to 40%. That's because of the dominator points. I wouldn't go above 40%. I think he comes in probably around 30% ownership. I feel like his ownership today is probably one of the harder ones to gauge, because if everybody loves him, he might push that 40 just because you can get some cheap dominator points. But I think he comes in around 25-35%. I probably wouldn't go too much above that because there's obviously high risk here. But if he does lead a good chunk of stage one and he doesn't wreck out, I mean, those laps are probably going to dunk on you. What do I like for DK Cash this week, says PJ? I would pair Hamlin with one of Larson or Reddick. Right now, I would choose Hamlin and Larson together. And then I would fill it out with guys like Alex Bowman and Ross Chastain, Ricky Stenhouse. That's my starting point for cash games today. What's up, Ross? Is Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Hocevar, MPJ, and Chase Briscoe. Thoughts? If this is for DraftKings, I would not play that many drivers. You have the entire top 3. I don't like that because I just don't really see how that's going to work out. Because if you think about it, well, you have 4 drivers starting inside the top 5. And they're just not all going to lead laps. And since they're not all leading laps, it's just really unlikely that scenario works out because they're just taking away from each other. Like if Bubba Wallace is leading all those laps early on, Hocevar and Briscoe are probably not going to run 2-3 the entire time. They're not getting dominator points, and they're going to fade back, and you're going to lose those PD points. So for me personally, I would only play one of the Briscoe, Hocevar, Bubba Wallace plays, and for me, that would be Bubba Wallace. And then you also have Martin Truex Jr. They're starting in 5th. So they're all just not going to get dominator points. So I would choose at most 2 guys, probably 2 to 3 guys in the top 5. But I wouldn't do it with Hocevar and Chase Briscoe because, I mean, it's close to 100% chance that they're going to move back. MC says, Bubba, yes or no for cash games and low end good run, Stenhouse, Bowman, Jones? Yeah, I think Bubba's playable in cash. If he can, like I said, if he can lead a good chunk of stage one and just hang around, he's going to be a pretty solid play today. Like, for example, I have Bubba finishing 10.49 today. I gave him 36.71 laps led, 25.7 fast laps. That equates to nearly 21 dominator points and nearly 25 placement points. If you add those 2 up, that's going to equate to 45.76 points. That's just under 6x. Looks pretty good to me. That's if he hit those marks, though. So we're assuming there's dominator points mixed in. So I think that is certainly cash viable. He does project better than the likes of Alex Bowman for me today, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, but that's because we're banking on some dominator points. process. Hope everyone's enjoying the long weekend. Hopefully you guys are as well. I'm sure it's fantasy draft season for most of you. I did one before my stream, and I got another one tomorrow for the Discord League, which is 18 teams, and it is brutal. I mean, we're picking like UFL players in like the 6th round. It's pretty rough. Ethan says, dumb to come in around half the field on Bubba Wallace and 20 max GPP. If you really want to take a stance against it, yes, but there is a pretty easy path to dominator points, which is the concern. But even if he does get those dominator points and he finishes 10th, 45 points is not going to destroy you. Because if you play a lot of Bowman and Kyle Busch and they battle for top 5, top 10, I mean, it's not like you're going to need Bubba Wallace. Like, if now Bubba comes out, leads 100 laps, and finishes in the top 5, yeah, you're going to want him, but that's more of an extreme circumstance there. White says, lucky's the last for the year. You continue your target is going to start costing likes. It might. It might. I do have a watch. I guess I just don't check it enough, huh? Tito says, Truex will log out. Have a good feeling this week. I think you said that for about the previous, 26 weeks now. That's what we're at. But I hope it works out. I really do. I have a good chunk of Truex tonight. I'm rooting for it, but definitely prepared for pain. That is for sure. Hello, Astro. Aloha to you as well. Hopefully you're having a good time out there in Hawaii. Like it'd be hard not to. What's up, Pugsley? Had a late emergency call at work, but I still made it. I'm glad you can make it, Pugsley. I'm glad. Have a fun day to use as well, Obi. Just chilling. Waiting for the race start. Already got my lineups in, which is not something that usually happens, so we're feeling good. Brandon says, football is impossible to win. NASCAR at least gives you hope. I can't say I agree with that. Actually had a better NFL season than NASCAR last year. NASCAR having a good season now, so we'll see what happens. But I do love my football. Sub-Zan says thoughts on Hamlin, Reddick, Logano, Gilly, McDowell, Stenhouse. Okay, we got Hamlin and Reddick as our DOMs. Logano can move through the field. Same with Gilly, McDowell, and Stenhouse. Yeah, that works. I feel like we're leaving money on the team. Just seems like it. I feel like we could probably upgrade somebody. Like one of the Gilly and McDowells. I feel like we have some money out there. Pugsley says, I went Reddick, Truex, Elliott, Busch, Gillen, and Ricky. I hate it, but that's probably a good thing. Yeah, usually when you hate your lineups, that is a good thing. Especially last week. I mean, all you had to do last week is just play the absolute worst lineups possible. In the FanDuel ownership, I tell you what, play Super Speedways over on FanDuel because the ownership is crazy. Like in one of the 3 max or something, guys like Logano, Elliott, Hamlin, I mean, we're pushing 30% ownership, and you can play guys like Zane Smith, Nemechek, Cody Ware, BJ McLeod that were all like 1% owned. Sorry. It makes absolutely no sense to not play Super Series on FanDuel if the ownership is going to be like that. I mean, all you had to do was close your eyes, pick a random junkers in the back on FanDuel last week, and you would have cashed. DraftKings, the ownership seems to be a little bit smarter, but FanDuel, I guess, in some situation hasn't totally caught up yet. All right. Barry, Gregson, or Gilland. I believe projection-wise, that is Gregson, Barry, Gilland for me. No, I don't really have any recommended changes for you, Pugsley. It's a pretty good build. I mean, Reddick and Truex, potential dominators. I like the Truex calling tournaments. Elliott, Busch, Gilly, and Ricky all solid plays. Brandon says, last one in, Gilly, Suarez, or McDowell. Thanks, bud. And no problem on Brandon. For me, I would play Suarez. Right, you didn't say Gregson. Yeah, I'd go with Suarez there. Feels gross, but I think he can limp his way to a 22nd. Stenhouse looks really good at value, says no, I agree. And it's not like he qualified 36 based off of speed. He just did what Ricky Stenhouse does. He wrecked in practice, and he's starting in the back. But, I mean, Ricky has an average finish inside the top 20 here at Darlington in the next gen era, which is a 5-race sample size. Average running position of 22nd. Like, if Ricky finishes 22nd tonight, you are extremely happy with that outcome. Extremely happy. Mike says, who would you suggest for lower owned drivers? My lineup looks chalky. I mean, some of the lower owned guys I like are Truex, William Byron, Ty Gibbs. I like quite a bit. Bush, pretty solid play. Josh Berry. A lot of the cheap guys I like are pretty chalky, but I mean, they're chalky for a reason. Bush or Ross today? I prefer Ross. He's ran pretty well here at Darlington. Does have a few DNFs mixed in, so the averages aren't going to look as good, but he has ran very well here. Obviously, there is concern with these guys that need to win to be in the playoffs. Checkers or wrecker situation, but kind of hard to avoid some of them. And in that scenario, I mean, Bush or Ross, both of them probably are going to do some stupid moves today, but I do have a lot of Ross. Noah says, should fade Bubba at chalk? How long can he hold off Larson? That's a $1 million question today. Like I said, I have him for roughly 40 laps. And if he finishes in the top 10, that is decent. For me, I am pretty even on Bubba. I played him in my main single entry. So I do like him. It's mainly the price. Like if Bubba Wallace is 10K, I'm not playing Bubba Wallace on the poll here, but I mean, when you're below 8K in a fast car, best pit stall, it's really hard not to. And obviously this team needs to put themselves in a good position at the end of this race to punch their ticket. What's up, Twin Ball? It's been a while, but I'm back. Good to see you, Chris. Good to see you as well, Twin. Thank you for stopping by, sir. Just some course. His thoughts on Haley and Priest. So I thought Haley would project a little bit better for me, but we do need to keep in mind these average finishes are a bit skewed. I know he has 3 top 10s, but I mean his average finish compared to his average running position is very far off. So he has been getting lucky. I still think he's going to run decent here, but starting in 21st, a little far up for me. I prefer Priest personally. Does have a couple of top 20s here. Obviously his numbers aren't as good, but he does have an average finish of 20th. Running positions 4 spots worse than Haley. If they can finish somewhat close to each other, I'm giving Haley the edge, obviously, but he starts in 30th compared to 21st. Dan says, I hear you say you have a bet on Gibbs. You think he can win? Well, I'll be honest, I don't think he wins, no. But at the time, I don't like the bet now. But at the time, when he was plus 1,600, I had him fair at plus 1,300. So we're talking a matter of like 3.5% chance to win compared to the book saying 3% chance. Currently now, I would not bet that. I have him winning 3% of the time today. Vegas implies it at 3.8%. So I wouldn't bet it anymore. I don't really like the bet. I mean, he could win, but I don't think it's likely tonight, Zan. I'm sorry. I would be genuinely shocked if it's not like Larson, Reddick, Hamlin, Piner, Truex. Bubba or Ross scores higher today. I have Bubba slightly higher just because of the Dom upside. He definitely has a higher ceiling, but a much lower floor. What's up, Jeerd? GBP thoughts on Larson, Reddick, Elliott, Gillian, McDowell, Spinhouse. Looks good to me. I mean, you get 2 main Doms there. Elliott, yeah, looks good. Top favorite value plays in a single entry for GBP. Stenhouse would be number 1 for me. He is going to be chalky. If you're trying to get away from the mega chalk like McDowell, Gillen, and Ricky Stenhouse, I think Josh Berry's a fine pivot. Noah Gragson as well. They're pretty cheap, right around upper 6K, lower 7K. Noah says, I feel like William Byron is due tonight. I wouldn't be against him winning, that's for sure. DFS-wise, I don't have a ton of him. So I guess I'm going to hedge that with my bet to win on William Byron. I mean, he doesn't project terrible. It's just the guys around him project better, and he's 10-2. Like, if he was around Martin Truex Jr.'s price, it'd probably be pretty even ownership on them. But I can get the discount off of Marty, $700 cheaper, and just going to flock to him a little bit more. I did force Byron into some of my hand builds, though, for tournaments. I mean, that's what I kind of do. Like, for some of the guys that don't project as well for GBPs, I'm doing hand building. I will kind of force them in for some hand builds just in case. Logano or Chastain on FanDuel? I prefer Chastain personally. Probably a bit riskier. I have Ross like 2.7 points higher than Logano. He's not really getting much Keselowski. Why? Probably more of a price tag thing. I mean, he's $9,800. I don't think it's likely he dominates today. I know he won the most recent race, but I mean, it's not like he was the absolute most dominant car. That was Tyler Reddick. Reddick probably should have won that race anyway. But I have Kes projected for like lower 40s, and it's just kind of tough for him to populate because I don't think he's going to dom over the likes of the guys we've already mentioned. So it's just like you can't play everybody. On FanDuel, it was a bit easier to get to him, but on DraftKings, I'm lower. What's up, Bill? In cash games, besides Stenhouse in the 6K range, who else is a solid cash play in the 6K drivers? Well, there's really not much. I think Daniel Suarez is a fine value play. Do I think he's going to finish 15th? No, I am projected to finish around 23rd, but 23rd would get Suarez almost a 5x. So it's not like the barrier for him to be a good play is rough. Anyone to the rear? As far as I saw, I don't think anyone's to the rear besides Stenhouse. And if anybody asks me if Stenhouse, if that news changes because he goes to the rear, I mean, obvious answer is no. All right, let me check Bob's Twitter. Oh gosh, I see rain, but that's in Charlotte, so I think we're good at Darlington for the rain tonight. Let me see. There's no check today. Expect Stenhouse car. Except Stenhouse car to go to the back because of repairs. But yeah, that's it. All right. Dustin says Gibbs gets his first win tonight. I don't think he's going to win tonight. I mean, 3% of the time I do, but other than that, no. I think it's unlikely Gibbs wins tonight, but I'm not against it. Not against it. Is that a spread? Night race at Darlington. Hard not to love it. Really good stretch in the schedule here for Daytona night race. Let me get the Darlington night race. Don't expect it to be the same style of racing. This race is good for other reasons because you just get to see the drivers show their skills. Daytona is just fun because it's chaos and randomness. Dave Palma says Blaney to dominate today. Oh boy. The day Blaney dominates Darlington will be quite the shocking day. I don't think it happens tonight. I think Blaney can run well today though. He projects better than what I anticipated, that's for sure. No, it says when you have 3 bad drivers and 1 to 3, pole position equals fade them. I do think it can work in Bubba's favor, though, because he could get out to an early lead and stretch it a little bit. And he is good here. I mean, Bubba's not like, he doesn't suck here whatsoever. If we're looking at his Darlington numbers, we have 5 races in next gen. He has 4 top 10s. And the only other drivers with 4 top 10s here at Darlington in next gen are Brett Keselowski, who, yeah, he's pretty good at NASCAR. And so is William Byron with 4 top 10s as well. So it's kind of hard not to have interest at that price. But Briscoe and Hocevar, yeah, I mean, that's a different situation. I would not fade Chalky. Ricky Stenhouse, I do think he's a good play today. I mean, it would not be surprising at all to see him running top 20 at some point. I remember the one race, was it Richmond? Michigan, maybe? I don't remember. He started like in the 30s, and then next thing I knew, he was like 13th at some point. I don't know how he did it, but Ricky finds a way somehow. What's up, Rick? Flying down the highway. Still would miss the last live CP. Appreciate that, Rick. Thanks for what you do. Catch you in Discord later. I'll see you there, Rick. Hopefully you have a nice, safe drive back to Kansas. No, I think you were in Vegas last time we saw on the update. What else says Busher? I like Busher on FanDuel, not really as much on DraftKings. Because I got to close to around 20-ish% Busher on FanDuel, but just on DraftKings, I couldn't get to populate as much. I mean, he's not like a bad play, but I do prefer Ty Gibbs. I prefer Logano, Chastain in that range, and Blaney projected better. So, I mean, just naturally, I'm not going to have as much Busher. What's up, Mike B? Great stuff as always, CP. Let's get it. Also, anyone watching, do yourself a favor and come join the most cutting-edge, groundbreaking, first-of-its-kind Discord. It does get pretty wild in the Discord. It's not. I promise it's not what you expect. How much Bell do I have, says Andre? I don't really have much at all. Yeah, I got him projected for like around 40 points, which is $9,300. Just hard to get him to pop. You know, I think I have like 10 to 15% Bell. Like I said, I'm pretty spread out this week. But let me see. I do want to mention, I'm pretty sure if anyone that works at Hard Rock or whatever, I mean, I feel like they just gave up on NASCAR this week. we used to have like hundreds of props. You can bet the manufacturers, head-to-heads, you know, basically all this stuff. All week we only have outrights and we have top 3, and that's it. And these are the worst outrights I've ever seen. For some reason, Christopher Bell is the favorite for this race over Larson, Reddick, and Hamlin on Hard Rock at plus 425. We have 2 drivers in the 400s, and it's nasty. So I think they just threw in the towel for this season. I don't know why. But if you work there, somebody tell them to please start offering stuff again, because it's useless now. Hello, Ms. Jules. This last live of the year, I know it's sad, but on the bright side, less time for me to work, I guess, so we can hang out more. But yeah, happy race day. Should be a good one. And I gotta give you a shout out. She finished 3rd last week on FanDuel. All I said was just play the worst possible drivers, and I think she finished 3rd, so I ended up working out. What's up, Dwayne? Hopefully all is well for you. Everyone ready for Hamlin to break some hearts today? I hope not. He'll break my heart if he does. Now, if you mean him doing well to break some other hearts, yes, but I'm going to need a Denny masterclass today, that's for sure. What's up, Finn? Best 6K play for me, that's Ricky. Hopefully he doesn't do his Ricky spin out stuff, but hard not to play him. Hello, Mom. Clicked you all as well, and yeah, go Joey. I got some Joey today, so I'm not going to be against him. Was last week, but I'll change my tune for this weekend. Adam says Gibbs and Chastain or Buescher and Bowman for a single entry. I'll go with Gibbs and Chastain there, personally. Any love for Priest? Ask chat. I try not to go below 6K this week. If you have to go below 5K or below 6K, Priest would be the one guy I don't hate, but it's not pretty. No, it says play 1 to 6 in pole position this week. Yeah, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Hamlin top 5, says Kevin. I hope he finishes top 5. We're going to need more than that, though. I don't quite show value on his top 5 depending on what odds you get. I'm seeing plus 100. I have him fair at plus 104. But it's not too far off. It's just Stenhouse going to the rear today. The Bull says, what do you think of Hamlin, Byron, Logano, Wallace, Gilland, and Priest? All right, we got Hamlin, Byron, Logano. I like that. Bob Wallace. Yeah, it's good. Like I said, I don't love going down to the 5K drivers, but if you have to, Priest is probably the one I'll do it with, him or Justin Haley. Yeah, that would have been a good idea. Oakley snuck in the one live stream, though. He made his appearance. But yeah, aloha to you as well. Last stream. Thanks for everything. Had a great season in my league. Got to finish this last one strong. Hopefully you do. Wishing you the best for it. And what, we got like 10 more races after this. So unfortunately, just some more lives, but we'll still be doing the videos. But obviously, when NFL starts, I mean, the contests just get killed for NASCAR, which I get. But we do have a Saturday night Bristol race coming up soon, which is nice. I wish all the races were like on Saturday night or something during NFL season. It says, thanks for the input this season, Chris. See you next week for NFL season. Yeah, for sure, Jesse. For sure. Gonna be a fun one for NFL. I got the NFL video up already. If you guys want to check that out, be doing content for that. And, oh, speaking of Oakley. Oakley. He's a big boy, but you can say hi to him. But he's going to want to go. Look a little high there. We just brushed him, so he was looking spiffy. All right, how much salary are you typically leaving on DraftKings, says Andre. I wouldn't leave much today. There's just too many honor points to go around where you're going to want them in your builds. I really wouldn't leave much money on the table. It's funny, we go to weeks where we don't really want to leave much money on the table, and then the week before that, we're leaving like $20,000, $30,000. All right, let's see. I lost my spot. Okay. Josh says, DK Cash thoughts, Reddick, Keselowski, Bowman, Gregson, Wallace, and Gillen. It's more of a tournament lineup for me personally. Like, instead of cash games, throw that in GPP, because in cash games, you're probably going to want, like, Denny Hamlin. You're going to want Bowman, who you do have. But I think Stenhouse is a very strong cash play. Like, it's not, like, crazy lineup, but I do think Keselowski is better suited for tournaments. Probably same for Gregson. But it's still a solid lineup. What's up, Hockey? Yeah, I was late too, don't worry. Top place for me, I am pretty much building around Hamlin, Larson, Reddick, filling it in with lineup fillers like Alex Bowman, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain for the most part, Ricky Stenhouse I like down low. This is like quick hitters. What's the cash type build? Probably answer that one when I talk with Josh. But you're going to want 2 of the 3 of Hamlin, Larson, Reddick. For me, I'd want Hamlin as one of them, and then you pick between Larson and Tyler Reddick, then Ricky Stenhouse, Bowman, all very solid options down there. Any thoughts on McDowell? McDowell or Price on DraftKings? McDowell and Gilliland, I think, offer pretty strong upside. Both guys should be able to battle for a top 25. I have McDowell finishing 24th, starting at 31st. Like, yeah, that's solid. It puts him above 4x value. He's perfectly fine. I would prefer him over Priest. I think he has a lot more upside there. Brian says, balanced build with Truex, Wallace, Gibbs, Elliott, Chastain, Bowman. No top 3. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by no top 3, because you do have Bubba, but overall, very strong lineup, I think. I mean, Truex and Wallace could certainly be the 2 dominators for this race. Nothing against that. Then Ty Gibbs, like in tournaments, yeah, looks pretty good. J Plaza says, Chris, gotta do it, brother. Kyle Larson for the win. I mean, I could 100% see Kyle Larson winning today. I mean, he's my highest predicted driver. He should be awesome. Did he win the last Southern 500? Is that what it was? I always feel like I forget who wins in the fall when football season start for some reason. I'm pretty sure it was him though, if I remember right. I know Keselowski won in the spring, but I'm pretty sure he won the fall race. Chastain, Gregson, or Logano and Ricky? Probably going Joey and Ricky there, just because I like Ricky more than Gregson, and Logano and Chastain are pretty much a toss-up. Bowman says, ownership on Bowman. I feel like he could stay under the radar and does well here. Also, Berry was great here in the spring. Thoughts? Yeah, I'm in on Josh Berry. I think he's a fine tournament play. Starting at 15th does project pretty decent for me. As far as Bowman being low owned, I don't think that's going to be the case. Like I said, I am not really caring about practice, but I know people are going to out there. And he was first in the 10 lap, 15, and third in the 20. People are going to look at that and be like, yeah, let's play some Alex Bowman. And plus, he's starting 27th in a Hendrick car. Like, yeah, people are going to play him. So I don't think he's going to be under the radar personally. But I mean, he projects well. I have a good chunk of Bowman today. I just don't think the ownership's going to be low. For a single entry DraftKings tournament, I have Reddick, Chastain, Jones, and Wallace. Go with Byron Stenhouse or Blaney and Bowman. That's a tough one. Byron has the best ceiling of the group there. Like, if anyone's going to dominate of those 4 drivers, it could be Byron, and then you could unlock 100-point potential. So I guess I would say the Byron route. Gregson or Jones, last one in, thanks. Personally, for me, I like Gregson, which I know Jones is awesome here, but I'm not 100% sure we're going to see Eric Jones, what he did in 2022 and win a race. But projection-wise, it's Eric Jones. My mind wants to say Gregson, but projections say Eric Jones. So I guess I'll have to. It's Howard Jones, but it really is a true coin flip. We're talking a matter of 2 points. Like, oh, I'll say Jones. Like, it's very close though. I think over on FanDuel is where I have Gregson projected better. Just says Bubba, Reddick, Larson, Suarez, Stenhouse, Chastain. Too many guys showing up front. No, that's perfectly fine because I mean, if you can get 3 dominators, that would be the goal today. If you can nail 3 dominators, you have a really good chance in tournaments. RB says, hi Chris, best driver for single entry on DraftKings. As far as the starting point is, I'd probably try to pick Denny. Jeremy says, Hamlin and Larson, that's the question for me. I mean, if you can play both of them together, I would love that. I have Larson projected better than Denny, but with Denny starting 10 spots further back, I mean, that floor is nice. No, it says, issue with Bubba and all the guys in the top 3 is I can see them DNF before I see them dominating enough for optimal. Yeah, I mean, they definitely have their issues for sure. I think, although I think Hocevar has like, if I remember correctly, I think he had like a streak of like no DNFs or something. I have to double check that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Hocevar doesn't even have one. I think Hocevar wrecked out at Daytona 500. Other than that, though, I'm pretty sure he's been pretty solid this year. I don't think he's a good DFS play today by any means, but I thought I saw a stat where he had like 25 races in a row or something. But I don't really trust Briscoe. Bubba's really tough to trust, but it's just a spot for me where it's hard not to like him a bit. Do I like Cindric? I don't really. He's just starting too far up for me. If he was starting further back, I would be in on Cindric this week. I mean, he's been a top 20 machine at Darlington, the next gen, but starting at 11th, it's kind of tough. What's up, Bullet? David says, Logano or Brad on DraftKings? I have Brad higher. I mean, Brad has dominator potential. What's up, Charles? Happy Sunday, Chris. My money's on Denny today to win, and I love Barry top 10 today. I can't say I'm against those. I definitely need Denny to win as well. Barry top 10. I have that happening 28.6% of the time. But depending on what the odds are on the book, could be good, could be bad, but I could definitely see him sneaking in. I don't really like Bell too much for DFS today. He's one of the guys I'm lower on. Clay says, how are you feeling about Timmy Hill? Looks like solid value and had a positive performance in the All-Star race. Get off front and have some time lapse today, which is what we love. He's supposed to, I'm going to assume this is a troll comment, but please don't play Timmy Hill today. He's like 2 seconds off the pace. I'm assuming it's a joke, though. What's up, King? How do I feel about Blaney? I like him more than I thought I was going to. I have him projected for 44 points. That's just over the 5x threshold. Strictly a tournament play, though. Strictly for tournaments. Dad says anywhere with Logano lately, feels like he's trending the wrong way. Well, I mean, if you look at specific finishes, I mean, that's not really the whole story. Like Richmond, he should have won Richmond. Daytona, doesn't matter. I forget the race before that. Was it Michigan? I don't remember what he did at Michigan at all. I feel like he might have wrecked out. Let me pull that up. Where did Logano finish in Michigan? Yeah, he wrecked out. But, I mean, can't do anything about Rex. He is good at Darlington, the driver's track, and a lot of us probably don't love Joey, but he is a pretty good driver. And he has been very good here, too. But, yeah, a lot of those tracks, I mean, it's like, whatever. You wreck out, is what happens. Jake says, if you play Truex, you'll be sad. That's usually the case. Usually the case. And I will plan on being sad later, but I will be playing some Truex, unfortunately. Battle Bump God says, is Jimmy Johnson a lock? And absolutely he's a lock. Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart. Probably 3 of the best dominator plays today on today's slate. But Tony says, Truex versus Bubba head-to-head and Busch versus Elliott head-to-head. I have Truex over Bubba, and I believe I have Elliott over Busch. What's up, Lou? Says, hey, Chris, great to see you. Looking great. Right back at you, Lou. I can't see you, but I'm just going to assume you're looking great. Thanks for being here. Brian says, DraftKings tournaments, Hamlin, Busher, Gibbs, Chastain, Bubba, Suarez. Thoughts on that? So you got 2 potential Doms with Hamlin and Bubba. Busher could be a Dom. Gibbs could be a Dom. I guess Chastain could be one. Yeah, that's fine. Pretty balanced build, too, which is what I like. When you don't have to drop down to the 5K guys. And you can still fit in your Doms, too. Zachary says, what channel is this race on? For me, it's whatever Saudi Arabian stream wants to show it. For me, that's how I watch my races. But I have no idea. Probably NBC, I guess. USA, I don't know. Why does Sniper only eat Mexican food? Main reason he's over. Well, Sniper is a big Daniel Suarez fan, so I'm assuming he's just doing it in support. Hamlin or Larson for the lead? I would say it's more likely for Larson to lead over Hamlin today. Thoughts on Zane Smith? Wasn't really planning on playing him today. Don't really feel like I need to. He's like one of my worst projected drivers starting in 26, so I mean, we'll see. It wasn't as bad in practice, but I don't really like Zane today. I just don't really think it's necessary. Yeah, no problem, Daniel. Thank you for being here, for sure. Okay. After Clay's second message, I know he's trolling. We're trying to tout Kaz Gralla and Timmy Hill tonight. Although, Kaz Gralla actually projected not terrible for his price point tonight. I would definitely play Kaz over the likes of Timmy Hill. What's McDowell and Gillen's ownership? I think it's going to be decent. I have them around, I think around 25%-ish. Around there, 20-25%. Could be higher, could be lower. Ownership's been a little bit weird this year. David says, I've gotten several hot tips on Zane Smith this week. Zane Smith will finish in the top 10. I mean, you better bet it if you believe it. For me, I don't see it. I just don't really think it's necessary this week. I don't really find myself going that low. If you're playing like, if you're trying to force in Reddick, Larson, Hamlin, maybe you do get down to like Zane Smith, but it doesn't really seem too necessary for me. Loyal says, break the record, 27 cautions. Please, Lord, keep them 27 cautions tonight. I don't know about that. I'll take the under. Should be a good race though. Alex says, Ross, Bowman, and Noah, or Ricky, Chase, and Logano for FanDuel have a preference? Thanks. Ross, Bowman, and Noah, or Ricky, Chase, and Logano. Oof. That's a tough one. It really is. I feel like the Ricky, Chase, and Logano route probably has a little bit more upside. Just a little bit. I mean, Chase and Logano, I think, are more likely to finish top 5 than I would say Bowman, Ross. So I guess I'll go to the second one, but it's a good question. I'm saying Smith tonight, West Coast native, but word on the street is he can haul in that 71 car. Yeah. The Zane Smith fan club is out tonight. Elliott or Logano? I believe I have Elliott predicted higher. Yeah, I have Joey by a couple of points there. I mean, I'm sorry, Chase by a couple of points. Busher and Truex or Reddick and Gregson on FanDuel? I'll go the Reddick and Gregson route, just for like Reddick tonight. Ewok says, heard through the grapevine that Chase Elliott caught a mean case of the runs and Josh Bilicki stepping in. Watch out for the 9 car. Wouldn't be the last year of the year if we couldn't get a Josh Bilicki message in here. Appreciate the dedication. Nick says, anybody know a site that has ownership projections? I mean, I do ownership projections, so I'm only going to talk about my own, I guess. There's others out there, but you're going to have to pay for them. Are we on the number 43 this week? To a degree, yes. I'm not going overweight on Eric Jones, though. Like, crazy overweight, I should say. It's me. It's Ernest T. Hey, Chris, how far back are you going with guys today? Well, I really, price-wise, I wouldn't want to really go below Ryan Preece, personally. I don't even want to play Ryan Preece too much. Coach says, I'm keeping an eye on Sniper in Discord until you're done. So, yeah, last night around 1, 2 a.m. was, I was playing video games. I didn't know what was going on, but I saw the aftermath, and it wasn't too pretty. Maybe it was pretty to some. I'm not going to judge. What do you think of Elliott? Elliott's a very solid place differential play. I got him projected for around 40 points. Obviously, there's upside for more. I am finishing like around 12th. So. It's just part of the Patreon. Common Gun says 10K left. I need one more guy. Like 10K flat is all you got, I would probably say Truex. Truex or Keselowski. Any left for Elliott today? Yeah, I like Elliott. I like Suarez just because he's cheap. He's in the back. Finish top 25 and I'll be all right. Why is Blaney so owned also? Well, I think it's because of practice. People are looking at practice. He was fast in his group. I know the track history sucks, but the odds are high on him. Part of the reason he's cheap. Like, he fits in lineups. I know he predicted better than what I thought he would. What's up, Dimitri? Thank you for being here. Clay says Haley has been awful recently. Take my son to me all the time. I think Clay is just trying to get ownership off the guys he wants to play. It's hard not to play some Suarez on DK, correct? Yeah, I mean, when you're playing Suarez tonight, you do not need him to do that great. If he can finish top 25, you will take it. I have Suarez projected to finish 23.19. That equates to 31 points. Like, it does not take much for Suarez to hit 30 points tonight. And it's not like we're paying 8K for Suarez these days. He's only $6,500. Byron or Elliott? Byron has more of a ceiling, I think. Noah says off topic, but who's your favorite values for NFL best ball this season? I am the wrong person to ask Noah. I don't season long. I'm not a big person into season long. I just look at the week to week stuff with projections. Khalil Shakur is someone I was trying to get to. So like Joshua Palmer quite a bit, but I'm not. I did 2 best balls this year and I just get bored. I like to do the playoff best balls. I really like the strategy with that. So I know I don't do live streams for playoffs, but if you ever have any questions for that, I love doing playoff best ball. Also, Jalen Wright from Miami, I think, will be interesting because obviously the running back situation there, 2 fragile guys. Yeah, we had an Oakley sighting. Yeah, I think Bubba's fine for cash games today. I mean, it doesn't feel great, but I do think you can play him. If he can lead a good chunk of stage 1, as long as he doesn't wreck out, he should be solid. Mike says, here's a name you never hear, but I did some Hemrick. Is he a terrible play? Well, projection-wise, yes. For me, I don't really like Hemrick. The thing is, though, after a certain point, all these guys are really just the same speed, and it all just comes down to how they cycle out on the last pit stops. Like, just there's some random plays that just randomly get thrown in the top 20 for no reason, and they just kind of stick there because everyone's the same speed. So honestly, it's all kind of out of luck at that point. So, like, no, he doesn't project well, but could Hemrick randomly finish 17th? Yeah. What do you think about $1 on FanDuel? Yeah, FanDuel, you don't need the downer points as much. So, I mean, if you just want to play one over there in PD, that's perfectly fine. I have some lineups where it's like Hamlin, and then it's like straight solid PD plays like Elliott, Ty Gibbs, Joey Logano. Like, that's perfectly fine. Because you're only getting 0.1 for a lap led over on FanDuel. On DraftKings downer points, you're getting the 0.25 for the laps led, the 0.35 or 0.4, whatever it is, 0.45, it's one of those. It equates to 0.7 for the fast lap. So downer points just mean so much more over on DraftKings. No problem at all, Steve. Can't wait for NFL. Can't say I'm on the Eagles train, but I'm sure we're all excited for football, that's for sure. Hawk's name is Throttle. Coach says Wallace, Chastain, Recchi seem real safe playing together. Yeah, for sure. And some of the best plays today, just very stable. Very stable, consistent plays, that's for sure. Is that Johnny Z? Bubba, Larson, Reddick, and then PD plays? Yeah. I am pretty much doing the same exact thing. Rank Gillen, McDowell, and Suarez on DraftKings. I have that Suarez, Gillen, McDowell. Teabagging Time says odds at my sportsbook. Hocevar to win 3,500. Spire to win at plus 10,000. 100 to 1 worth a small bet. Let me check. I have Hocevar at 10,809. So I guess, I mean, it's not like super far off. If you're getting, or I'm sorry, That was inspired to win. That was just win at 35. No, I would not bet him at 35. I think that's terrible, honestly. Inspired to win at plus 10,000. I mean, I really just inspired winning this race first off. So no, I wouldn't do it. I think there's better ways to blow a few bucks. Yeah, no problem at all, Johnny. Thank you for being here. What's up, Christopher? Logano or Elliott in cash games? I have Elliott a little bit higher. Just a little bit. Elliott's usually very consistent and safe. He does feel a bit safer than Logano for cash games. Yeah, I do like Chase today. The problem with Chase, though, on DraftKings is I just can't get to him as much as I would like to because I think there's just some other guys with better ceilings that can lead some laps. I still like him as long as you can fit in a couple DOMs, but I think you get what I'm saying. Steven says, what's the difference in cash and tournament plays? So cash games, you're only beating half the field, and then it does you no good to finish first or 50th. I mean, there's just no difference in payout, so you're just trying to play high floor guys. If that makes any sense. In tournaments, you're playing those guys with more of a risk, but a lot more downside because it's a top-heavy pay structure, and finishing first means a lot more than finishing 50th in that scenario, if that makes any sense. Like for today, Ricky Stenhouse, awesome cash play starting dead last because he's only going to be able to move up. But you can make a pivot at a somewhat similar price point of Josh Berry starting in 15th because we think he could finish like 6th on a really good day. On a bad day, though, he's finishing 25th and he's losing you points. Meanwhile, if Ricky has a bad day, he's still probably gaining 10 spots. So it's just like a ceiling and floor kind of ordeal. What's up, Margie? DraftKings single entry last spot, Gibbs, Ross, or Bubba? Oh boy. Well, projection-wise, it's Bubba for me. It's just the dominator point upside there. What's up, Sean? I feel like everyone's name is Sean. I think I've seen like 10 Seans here. ACB, thoughts on Larson, Hamlin, Ross, Bowman, and Ricky? Thanks as always. Appreciate everything. Let's see. Looks good to me. Must be a FanDuel lineup because it's 5 drivers, but I think it looks really good. Can Gibbs win? I think Gibbs can win 3% of the time. That is what I have him winning today. 3% of the time. So you can decide on that if you think that's worth it to throw away some money at. Depends on the odds you're offered, but I don't like it based off of what I've seen. And speaking of another Sean, what's up, Sean? And then we have another Sean right after that. Let's read the Sean fan club. Anyway, sup, Chris? Thoughts on this? Larson, Keselowski, Truex, Wallace, Stenhouse, and Haley. A good GVP build, I think, with Haley, Truex, and Keselowski. But it follows the rules I would play today, so yeah. And we have another Sean. $1 million Sean, I should say. I'm nervous, Chris. Yeah, Sean has a ticket for the Fantasy Racing World Championship, round 1 today, so I gotta wish him some luck. Although he's too rich anyway, so maybe not as much luck as you guys, as the rest. But I do hope Sean advances. But don't be nervous. I think you'll be all right. You'll be all right. I agree. You gotta hit the like button. Helps me out. It's free to do. How do you feel about Elliott? Man, lots of Chase Elliott questions today. Guess everyone's just really wanting to play him. But I think he's solid. I think he's a solid play today. Advice on picks? Thoughts on MTJ? I think Truex is a really fine pivot off of some of the top dogs like Reddick, Larson, and Hamlin today in tournaments. So yeah, I definitely have a good chunk of Truex today. Hamlin only cash or GP also? Yeah, you can play Hamlin in whatever cash games tournaments. He is my highest owned driver today. I saw him on. I saw it. Maybe I must have skipped connection wise or something, but I saw it. Thank you for being here. Appreciate last stream of the year, and I know you're rooting for Joey. And you're not going to be alone today, that's for sure. I mean, speaking of Joey, thoughts on Logano? I mean, him and Chase Elliott are like the same place today. I prefer Chase a little bit more, but him and Joey are perfectly fine. Joey's been very good at Darlington. What's up, Mo Green? Thoughts on Cindric for GVP? Cindric starts a little bit too far up for me personally. Just don't really have a lot of interest there. Sean says, Chris, tell me why I shouldn't play Haley. I like him today. Well, because of the starting position, I guess. Would be one reason. I don't think it's likely he keeps up his average finish at 12.5 here. So there's definitely a lower floor on him. Sorry, I lost my spot. Where are we at? Thoughts on Reddick? Yeah, Reddick's one of the best plays in the slate today. Reddick has been optimal, I believe, 3 races in a row here. Pretty sure. I know he had the issue in the spring where, I mean, he crushed. He dunked on everybody, led 150 laps. Was in position to win. Bit of an aggressive move. Him and Busher hit the wall and had tires go down. He still had a really good day fantasy-wise, but I believe the races before that, I mean, Reddick, he's awesome at Darlington. Do you think Ricky Bobby is a good PD play today? I'm a little bit, the Sims don't like Ricky Bobby as much. Not as much today, unfortunately. What's up, Andrew? Barry or Jones, which one projects higher on DraftKings cash? If it's cash games, definitely going Jones there, just better floor overall. Tyreek Hill versus Daniel Hemrick? Well, I guess, man, if it's a foot race, if Tyreek gets to run on feet and Daniel Hemrick still gets to be in a car, I mean, I still might take Tyreek Hill. It's going to be close, though. What's up, Brett? Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you for being here. You're your 3 favorite low-priced guys and 2 favorite dogs for DraftKings GPP. If for dogs, you mean like the top guys, I really like, I mean, my top 3 is Hamlin, Larson, Reddick. 2 of those 3 guys, I don't really think you can go wrong there. As far as the cheap plays today, I like Stenhouse. I like Josh Berry, Noah Gregson, Todd Gillen, McDowell, Suarez, all those guys. You can just filter them in. No, I'm not playing Briscoe today. He's starting too far up for me. He's probably moving back, very likely. It's not a lot of upside there. No problem at all, Jacob. Thanks for being here, sir. It's been a fun one. Appreciate that, Sean. Says he won $111 on DraftKings SimState for the Madden. I think you're crazy how much you love it, but I mean, as long as you're winning, that is all that matters. All that matters. No problem at all, Christopher. Yeah, I don't think that makes, I don't know what Hard Rock's doing though over there. I mean, he's not a favorite to win anywhere else, but I think Hard Rock just mailed it in for the season. And they got a whiff of NFL starting and they just said, you know what, just throw some random odds out. Maybe they heard me. I just checked Hard Rock and maybe they heard me, but they pulled all the odds. Now they're all locked. But they also pulled the top 3. But yeah, you can. Hard Rock is completely locked out of any bets now. Maybe someone that worked there listen. Best look. I appreciate it, Justin. I did do a show once with Eric. He's a fun guy. He's definitely fun. I don't like to talk that much. So being on a show with him is pretty easy because he likes to do all the talking for me. So it was nice and chill. But he's fun. We did a couple baseball shows back in the day. But Jake, I don't know if I know Jake. I definitely haven't done a show with him. I think he does hockey, doesn't he? I think. I remember the name, but I don't know if I know him. Suarez or Stenhouse? I would take Stenhouse. Is 56% too much for Wallace? It's a little bit much for me. I wouldn't go that high. It's just I got a lot of Haley, so probably. I mean, it's not the worst play in the world. Dang, I'm not going to be able to catch up the chat, I don't think. It's trying to get higher before 6. I believe locks at 6, right? DraftKings is 603. FanDuel's dead on 6, I think. Yeah. All right. All right, let me try to zip through some questions here. Thoughts on Briscoe? I don't really have interest in Briscoe. Jones on FanDuel for me. I looked at projections. I thought it was going to be Gregson higher, but it is Eric Jones. No, it says Suarez for Mexican Independence Day. Is that today? We do have a big narrative next year when we have the Mexico race. We'll have to lock down Suarez then. Races on USA? All right. Kyle Busch gets into the dance. You think Kyle Busch wins today? That'd be crazy. It would be. I mean, he's got to keep his win streak up at some point. I really do respect Kyle Busch last week, though, for not wrecking out Harrison Burton. Like, he could have easily done that to win, obviously, to keep the streak alive. I'll just take it into the playoffs and how bad he's been this year. He's finding the spot to win and still doesn't wreck him. You got to respect him. You really do. Especially after watching what Austin Dale and his teammate did not so long ago. No problem at all picking Lawyer, Bowman and Brad, or Chase and Logano. on FanDuel single entry. Tough one. Let me see. I have that. Elliot Nagano. Yeah, I'll see you for NFL too. Looking forward to that one. Yeah, a lot of love for Stenhouse for sure. One of the better plays on there. Just like Austin Dillon seems like a great guy. Yeah, totally. Best guy out there. It says MTJ or Ty on NASCAR Fantasy Live. I don't exactly know how Fantasy Live scoring works, but like overall finish wise, I would probably think Truex finishes better. Camera keeps doing a glitch thing, says Astro. I don't see it on my end, but obviously I'm not the one watching it on stream, so it's weird. Hopefully it doesn't do that ever again though. I don't know why. 35% Zane. Okay, I just saw the horizontal glitch thing. That is weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh. At least we're almost done. It's gonna drive me crazy now that I mentioned now that I see it. I'll miss you too. I'll miss you too, Earl. That's for sure. What's up, Brian? Big fan. Big fan of you as well. Thanks for all you do. DraftKings tournaments. Larson, Bell, Logano, Bowman, Barry, McDowell. Trying to get different. Yeah, I think that was good. I mean, Bell, obviously, I'm not super high on, but doesn't mean he can't do good today. It'll keep you different. All right. Probably answer a few more questions and I'll have to get out of here. Byron or Bell? I will take Byron. Pete says, for real about Kyle Busch racing clean, maybe racing gods found him today. That is certainly possible. Maybe he'll get rewarded for it. Some good karma coming his way. Nice Kevin says, this race is going to rain out as a NASCAR tradition. I hope not. Last I saw, Darlington weather looked pretty good, but it does show rain in the, man. So we have like a 50% chance of rain like at 9. That would be brutal if we don't make it full length today. I mean, I don't think we'd be done by 9, so let's hope it stays away. I mean, that would suck. I want my 500 miles, but we have lights. We have lights. It'll stop raining. All right, so Hard Rock did update their odds, and it's now Larson Reddick as the 2 favorites. Maybe they had a mole listening. All right, I'm probably going to have to get out of here. I have a little bit of love for Blaney, but it's not like he's a core play for me today. Do appreciate y'all being here. For real, last live stream of the season. It was fun. I'll still be doing my videos, so hopefully I'll see you guys in the comments. But appreciate y'all. Hopefully it's a fun race tonight. Thank you all for being in chat. Wish you all the best, and I'll see you all next year in the streams, but NFL content every week, and same with that.